Back up. Oh, shit. Oh, stepping on it. Hand down. Hey, everybody. I am your host, Elad, YouTube's #1 reporter. Today, I'm reporting to you from Queens, where we have a Defend the Blue protest. Let's go talk to some rally goers, see what's going on. There are also some counter demonstrators here. Let's see if we can get any interviews from them. Let's go see what's going on. What do you think when you hear Blue Lives Matters, when these protesters chant Blue Lives Matters in support of the police officers?
It doesn't make sense to me. They have weapons. We're armless. We're the ones that are being oppressed by those blue lives. We're not attacking them. We're using our voice. We're using our First Amendment right to speak up about their injustices, but we're not beating them. We're not killing them. We're not sending them into prisons for the rest of their lives.
Well, respectfully, some police officers are being killed. More police officers are killed than unarmed black men year over year in the United States. Do you think there should be any concern for police officers getting killed or committing suicide?
More police officers are being killed than black men in this country?
Than unarmed black men year over year.
Where's the source for that?
Washington Post, 2018.
My comment to that is we're not the ones that have guns. Police sign up to do this job, to hold guns, and they bet they die not just through the lives of black people.
Do you want to defund the police?
I would like to defund the police and reallocate those funds into communities of color, so public sectors such as education, healthcare, infrastructure, transportation. Defunding the police needs to come with reallocation, and the police have wreaked havoc on black and brown communities in the decades that they've existed in this country.
Last question, do you think there could be a rise in crime with the correlation of us defunding the police, or is that not something to be concerned about?
When we start investing into our youth and education in our own communities, there won't be a resort for violence.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Was there anything else you wanted to mention?
No, thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad they shut the siren off. Thank you.
We're fighting for your rights. We're fighting for your mother's rights. We're fighting for your kids' rights. And your kids' rights, so they don't have to go through this. And there's nobody over there protecting them. Protecting them. Can I get your name? I don't even know what's taking him arrested.
Hey, excuse me. Is there any chance you could tell me what happened to you?
A crazy white racist hit me in the face because I stand for Black Lives Matter and he's a piece of shit.
Were you guys yelling at each other? Why was the exchange happening?
I went up to try to move people away from him because he was getting aggressive, and he looked me dead in the eye and swung at me. A grown fucking man swung at me, a woman.
Was anybody else hit? You were hit in the head, you said?
I was hit in the face. There were plenty of other people hit as well.
Okay, and it's just this one white guy just hitting people here.
I only saw the one, but there's thousands of them out here.
Can I also ask you, we're defending the Blue Lives, and then there's the Black Lives Matters protest here. Do you think conflict's going to happen with the two groups so close to each other?
Obviously, because some people here don't know how to keep their hands to themselves, which is exactly why we protest.
What do you think when you hear Blue Lives Matter?
I think blue lives mean nothing. I think blue lives, murder.
Absolutely. Was there anything else you want to mention?
Fuck white supremacy.
Thank you so much for your time. Hey guys, is there any chance I get a quick interview?
Yeah, sure. What about?
Cool. Well, the protests, we're out here. This is a Black Lives Matter protest on one side, Defend the Blue on the other side. What side are you guys on and what's going on?
We're obviously on the Black Lives Matter side, and we were just asking the police officers right now why they're facing us and not them, because they're the larger crowd. They're the ones being violent, and we're literally being peaceful here. So we all also live in Bayside, and I'm really upset that these are look at this. I'm so upset that Bayside is this racist. Look at all these people. Seriously, I'm so
Do you think the Defend the Blue people are racist?
I mean, if they don't realize that Black Lives Matter, if they don't realize that black people get arrested at such high rates, everything, then yeah, I do, because they're complicit, they're part of the problem, so.
I also wanted to ask you guys, as non-POC minorities, do you think there's a role here for you guys to play with different types of minority privilege that, you know, black people have it differently than Asian people? Where could you use that here?
Yeah, I definitely think that black people get treated differently, but I think we should all stand together and be united, because nothing's gonna happen if that doesn't happen. So I think Black Lives Matter, and then everyone else's lives matter.
One last question. We're seeing some tearing down of statues. Do you condemn or condone tearing down of statues?
I approve it because these people are slaveholders and they've been doing this stuff for years, and they're the founders of our country, so we have to tear them down.
What about Abe Lincoln? Tear him down too?
Yeah, if they're like that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh, did you get that? Keep back up. Oh, shit. Oh, stepping on it. Hand down. Bro! Oh, shit. Let's go find that kid. Hey, excuse me, can you tell me about that confrontation?
Not if it's being filmed.
Okay. I mean, I just saw you rip people's signs down.
No, I didn't.
You didn't rip somebody's flag off of their sign?
That's different from ripping a sign down.
Okay, well, you ripped the flag off somebody's sign?
Yeah, sure.
Why'd you do that?
Because fuck that person in particular.
Are you scared you might start a fight between the two groups and it might be irresponsible of you to do that?
I didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't start a fight.
Oh, okay. I mean, you almost did. There was a scuffle.
I didn't.
Oh, okay. We have it all on video. So why'd you do that again?
Because fuck that person in particular.
Oh, okay. What do you think when you hear Blue Lives Matter?
Fuck them.
Fuck all cops?
Basically.
Black cops too?
Yeah, they're still part of the system. You know, they're still, even if they're not actively doing something themselves, they're still causing a problem.
Do you want no cops?
I think we need to break it down and build it from the back up. We need something to enforce law, but not police. No one who has ever been a police should ever be a police in the future.
Absolutely. Is there anything else you want to mention?
Free Palestine.
Thank you so much. Oh.
Who are you protecting? You're protecting those fucking pieces of shit. That one dude, all right, guys, this one guy was on a moped and punched this woman in the face, and they're defending him. All these police are defending them.
Do you think both sides are like seeking conflict, kind of picking at one another?
I think they're trying to seek conflict towards us. We've been doing this for a lot longer.
Do you think any of this side is seeking conflict?
What's up?
Do you think any of this side is seeking conflict?
I don't think any of this is seeking conflict. They instigate, we're gonna fucking show our colors too.
I saw a man rip somebody else's sign down. It seems like both sides are nitpicking at each other, don't you think? Or your side's kind of pure?
It kind of seems like they're starting it, and we're just kind of like counter-protesting it, if you will.
What do you think when you hear Blue Lives Matter?
I think Black Lives Matter.
Sure.
So
do you think Blue Lives Matter?
No lives matter until Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. And why don't you think Black Lives Matters now?
I'm sorry?
Why don't you think Black Lives Matters now?
Because, I mean, look at what's happening. People are dying every day. But it's not just black people, it's people with mental illness. They killed my friend George Zapanthis at the 109th Precinct, and they haven't released any body cam footage. I want you to do me a favor and please find out who killed my boy.
Or do you think all cops are bad?
I do.
Do you think black cops are bad too, as minorities and, you know, underprivileged people in society?
All police are bad. If police wanna like work with people, they should try and figure out different methods to it.
What should we do to stop crime then when people are committing crimes?
I think figure out different departments to call, as opposed to just having uniformed and militarized people just coming by.
Absolutely. We see people like, don't you think this is potentially going to lead to conflict, people going face to face like this?
Not at all. Have you seen pro wrestling before?
I don't know if the police will interpret it as that, though. Do you think many police are just targeting black people specifically?
Absolutely. I think that's been happening since, like, Emmett Till, man. I mean, like, since all those things.
You think it's just as bad as when Emmett Till occurred? Now.
Everything that's happened is equally, if not worse, than what's been happening in the world.
Do you feel as though police are just killing unarmed black men left and right? I mean...
These are all like just repeats of the same question, more or less.
How many black people do you think are being killed by police year over year?
More than white people. More than white people, that's for sure. And that's because the numbers are disproportionate.
It's more white, but per capita you're right, but it's 15.
Per capita makes sense. Sure. Think of the world as if it was equal, there would be more black people killed than white people.
It's 15 unarmed black people a year.
Yes, but how many black people are there compared to white people?
Sure, but a year, 15.
No, sure. How many people are, compared?
Sure, it's a lot more. It's like 4 times just as many when you
do it
for. Okay, cool. Yeah. I know the other side often talks about black deaths in other situations. Do you think that's just a distraction from the argument?
In what context do you mean?
They say like black people die a lot more in Chicago at the hands of other black people.
I don't think there's such thing as black on black crime. It's crime on crime. It's not like anything other than that. You can't just categorize people by color.
They're saying though, if you want to save a lot of black people, the raw number, you could save a lot more black people by helping in Chicago where they're predominantly being killed.
I mean, they're also being killed in New York too, man. They just killed my boy a few weeks ago. So I mean,
Was this a black guy though?
He wasn't a black guy. But you know what? He died at the hands of police brutality. And many people are here for protesting in favor of Black Lives Matter. I'm here protesting in favor of Black Lives Matter and against police brutality.
Do you feel like it excludes him because he's not black and we're saying Black Lives Matter?
Because he didn't die for being black.
Okay.
So.
Police brutality. Quickly in conclusion, anything else you wanted to mention?
No, do you want to take this? I have a bunch of them.
And I like, fuck Trump.
Thanks, man. It's my buddy made this one.
Biden sucks too, but you're going to vote for Biden?
I ain't voting for Biden either, man.
You're not going to vote for Biden? Okay, you're not going to vote for a sexual assaulter, allegedly.
Definitely not. Definitely not. I mean, they're both sexual assaulters. It seems like that's what you need to do to get in office.
Yeah. And both racist, you'd say white supremacists, both of them?
I would say they both fucking suck, man. I mean, what else is there to say? Like, who really leads the country? I say vote locally.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you so much.
Definitely vote locally. Yeah, yeah.
Here's the thing, like I said, I pulled up statistics and I literally
saw a lot,
said statistics and all I got back was I'm a commie, I'm liberal scum. Like that's.
I could give you a statistic.
Give me. I'll pull up. Here's my thing. You can pull up black on black crime, but we have to talk about why those things happen.
No, let's talk about cop on black crime. I want to ask you, how many unarmed black men do you think are killed by cops year over year?
It doesn't matter who's guilty or not. They should be dying. They should be killed.
Here, I'll pull up the
I
numbers.
understand. No, but what do you think the number is?
I will pull up the numbers. No, because here's my thing. I'm not basing things on my opinion. I'm not going to base things on I think this much happened. I'm going to base my opinions on what I know.
But there's a narrative that policemen are killing unarmed black men. That's why
not a narrative.
It's not.
Okay. Well, we'll look it up.
It's a fucking fact.
No, it is happening. According to the Washington Post in 2018, they said 15 unarmed black men were killed by police.
It doesn't matter if they're guilty or not. They should
I'm not
be
saying if
dying
they're
anyways.
guilty or not. I'm just saying the statistic.
Even if they're armed, who cares? They shouldn't be killing them
2017,
anyways.
It was 49.
Well, if they're armed.
It was 2017. It was 49 black men, 34 Hispanic men, 2 Native American men.
And that's too
And
many.
these are unarmed as well. These are not the people who are they claim to be armed.
Well, what do you think about when police, encounter people with weapons?
I don't think that's okay. I literally, why do people who have training for 6 months have guns and weapons on them? That is the issue. That is the whole fucking issue. And they're in charge. Here's another stat. 5% of arrests are for violent crimes. It's only 5%. It's only 5%.
Do you think cops specifically seek out black people?
Yes.
I think they do. It's not even, it might not even be like a conscious thing, but it's more of a you're told that's the narrative that black people are thugs and stuff like that. There is a narrative behind that.
And one last thing I want to mention. The other side often says that we could save more black lives if we try to stop different types of crimes that kill black people. So what do you think about that narrative that people are talking? If actually Black Lives Matters, we try to stop these other killings of black people.
Do we not talk about how black people are in these, do we not talk about the school to prison pipeline? Do we not talk about those things? Because those contribute to that. Somebody who, I don't remember the exact stat, but if somebody's failed 4th grade and the issue is like, if your education is based on your property taxes, people in lower income communities, which are often disproportionately black and brown people, like,
What do you think's the biggest threat to black people in the U.S. nowadays?
I don't think it's just police. I think it's the whole system. I know
people talk about this. Yeah, people talk about the single parenthood situation in many of these communities. Do you think that's a big deal?
Honestly, I haven't done enough research into that to say anything about that, so I don't want to.
I think the single parenthood rate in the black community is something like 75%. That could affect the annual income of the family, if there's only one parent. That's a really big deal socioeconomically. What do you make of that?
And so the thing is, I think with that situation, you have the police who have a $6 billion budget. Instead of policing people, you have the option to help people. And you could take some of that budget, and instead of using it to criminalize people, you could offer them resources to help. And we don't do that because capitalism. That's what it is. It's capitalism.
Absolutely. Quickly in conclusion, anything else you wanted to mention?
Black Lives Matter.
Thank you so much for your time. It's hot. I'm sweaty.
You're the Queen's Eagle?
I'm the Queen's Eagle? No.
Conservative, but
I'm not even conservative.
are you not?
No. I think both sides are kind of gay.